For the meeting of the New York City Health and Hospitals Capital Committee. Today's meeting is officially called to order. For the record, please note Karen Sanhilaire is representing Molly Wasso Park in a voting capacity. Also, please note Sally Hernandez Piñero is participating virtually in a listening capacity. I would like to propose a motion to adopt the minutes of the Capital Committee meeting held on January 19th, 2024. All in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, say no. Dr. Katz, Karen Sanhilaire, and myself. Next, we will hear the Vice President's report. Mr. Saiz.
Good morning, everybody. We have had a very busy month at the beginning of 2024 in the Office of Facilities Development. There has been substantial work on critical infrastructure needs, including the installation of temporary boilers at Harlem, refurbishment of the Lincoln Chillers, achieving the 50% completion milestone of our Bellevue cogeneration construction, and kicking off the McKinney Comprehensive Energy Project, and the new Kohler generator becoming operational. These projects are supporting our ongoing efforts to modernize our aging infrastructure systems to ensure that we can continue to provide healthcare services in a modern and safe way. Our design build program is progressing well with the 3 Brooklyn Borough President-funded women health initiatives in active solicitation. We are actively exploring the utilization of the design build delivery method on future projects to bring additional efficiencies to our capital program. Other updates include the federal emergency declared for the storm Ophelia in September, which allows us to request grant funding to support mitigation and repair work for damages at Woodhull. The behavioral health certified beds have all come online by the end of 2023, and with our teams working to ensure to meet the state deadline. We have completed the renovation of our Harlem L&D project. Finished punch list and all cleanup has occurred. The renovation has transformed the L&D into a modern suite. The project included independent humidity, temperature control of each of the ORs, new flooring, sinks, millwork, lighting, and painting. We have a very full agenda this month with five items: a lease agreement for the additional clinical space for South Brooklyn, 3 projects at Jacoby, and one OR renovation and 2 infrastructure projects, and a parking lot project at Lincoln. With that, I'll take any questions.
Thank you. Thank you for the report. Any questions from committee members?
No questions. Just to say that to Manny and Oscar and Menji, we have never had so many successful projects going at the same time, right, in the history of health and hospitals. Right. And actually, if you look at what we have in the pipeline, it's going to increase. But even at its current pace, we've never done as well in terms of things moving capital-wise. So I thank the 3 of you very much.
Thank you. On that note, Dr. Katz, we have a full agenda with items now. So
Go for it.
Perfect. And let me say, Frida Katz has joined the committee meeting. Thank you.
We are related, but it's a very distant kind of family connection.
I apologize. So let me move then to the resolutions. Lyra?
Good morning. We're here to request authorization from New York City Health and Hospitals Corporation to sign a 10-year lease with Coney Island Associates Retail 2, the developer, for approximately 6,250 square feet on the first floor of a to-be-constructed building at 2932 West 16th Street in Coney Island to house the behavioral health and chemical dependency practice of the I2G Israel Community Health Clinic, operated by New York City Health and Hospitals South Brooklyn Health. Now operating on an adjacent lot for a yearly rent of $25 a square foot, to be escalated by 10% after 5 years, plus the provision of 10 parking spaces charged at $150 per month for each parking space. Provided that the developer will build out the premises to the system specifications within a budget of $2.5 million, with the system paying the developer $2 million of this expense. Provided further, the system shall hold 2 5-year options to renew the lease with the rent during the first renewal term to be at the higher of 95% of fair market value, or 10% over the prior rent, and with the rent for the second renewal term to be a 10% increase over the prior rent, with the rent over the entire potential 20-year term totaling approximately $3,985,780. I'll turn it over to Svetlana Lipinskaya from South Brooklyn Health to go over the project.
Good morning, everybody. So a little bit of history. We've had the I2G Israel Community Health Center in that neighborhood for quite a number of years. About 12 years ago, when Hurricane Sandy occurred, the original location on Neptune Avenue was completely destroyed, and therefore the services were transitioned to its current location. We've brought this issue and this practice to the board twice before. In July 2014, to authorize the license of Block 7061, which is where it's located now, and then in May 21 for a renewal. So the space it's on is going to be redeveloped. Therefore, we have to vacate it so that a new high-rise can go up. It's going to be redeveloped by the city. The location has 3 different practices in it at the moment. One is a family medicine practice, which is moving into the same building that we're talking about today, where the behavioral health and chemical dependency is going to go. And then the third practice that's located there is the dental practice, and that will move into a brand new space that is being built out for it on our campus. So we're going to centralize all of our dental health services in a lovely expanded new location. We felt that it was very important, particularly to keep the behavioral health and the chemical dependency services within the community that they're in. That's where the majority of our users come from for these services, and it is a very well utilized service, which we hope to continue to grow. So the goal is to move it into the same building as our family medicine practice. We really like the idea that it's going to be in the same building, but in 2 separate spaces, because those services have different needs. So our family medicine practice is on the Surf Avenue side, facing Maimonides Park, and then our behavioral health and chemical dependency space is on the side on East 16th Street, I believe. And that's the story of the space. So Leora mentioned the rent. The chemical dependency space meets all the specifications as laid out by OMH. It's going to be 6,250 square feet, including group and individual therapeutical spaces at a lease of $25 a square foot, with the escalation of 10% after 5 years. And that is the story. The total is $3,985,781 over the life of the lease, over the potential 20 years. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions from committee members? Okay.
Sorry, just one. So the 2 million is in addition to the 3.9 million, right?
Correct.
Yes, okay. And so we're approving the whole amount here. Is that right?
You're approving
Just the lease?
the lease.
Oh, okay. Okay,
The lease that includes the landlord's proposal to build it out for us.
got it.
At this point, the space has been fully designed. It's ready to go into construction. I think everybody's quite anxious to get it going, so that A, the space can be built out for our patients, and B, we could turn over our current location for development.
Right. Well, it's great you were able to find the space in the same place.
Yeah, absolutely. It's literally right across the street. You could see it from the current clinic, so there's going to be no disruption for our patients. And that was very important to us, to keep it in the community that it's in.
Great, thank you.
Okay, let me then ask for a vote. All in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Opposed, say no. The resolution is approved. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Manuel?
Good morning once again. This resolution is authorizing New York City Health and Hospitals Corporation to execute a contract with Holt Construction Corp. to undertake a gut renovation at New York City Health and Hospitals Jacobi Medical Center, 11 East operating rooms, along with dedicated support areas to maximize efficient use of Jacobi and to modernize the needs of the expanding community for a contract amount of $8,128,692, with a 50% contingency of $1,219,304, to bring the total cost to $9,347,996. And with that, I'll hand it over to Oscar Gonzalez, who will take us through the presentation.
Thank you, Manny. Good morning, Board Chair, Dr. Katz, Board members. With me today is Ellen Barles, CFO from Jacoby, and my director, Hiba Hadid, Director for Capital Construction at Jacoby, and my Senior Director, Aaron Egan, overseeing the Bronx portfolio. So quick background, Jacoby Medical Center, Building 1. There are 4 operating rooms on the 11th floor in the East Wing. They were built in 1955. But they have not been in service since 2008, since the ORs at Building 6 were placed into service. The ORs at Building 1 require significant upgrades in the space to meet today's regulations, guidelines, and code standards. They will provide critical OR capacity to alleviate the demand on Building 6 operating rooms and enhance services to patients. I'm going to pass it off to my director, Hiba, to talk a little bit about the scope and the schedule.
Good morning. So for Jacoby Building 1, 11 East ORs, we're planning for complete gut renovations of the existing 11 East OR rooms. Provide 3 new OR rooms with dedicated support areas. We're also planning to provide a centralized nurse stations with 8 pre and post-op rooms, new reception areas and waiting areas, installation of new medical gases, upgrades of mechanical, electrical, and plumbing throughout the entire new space. The new space would provide multi-specialty and ambulatory surgery, including but not limited to ophthalmology. Breast actually is not there. That's a typo. Hand, sport, GI, GU minor, simple laparoscopy, hernias, ambies, and gallbladders. Construction is expected to start in the summer of 2024, with a completion expected by summer 2025 for a duration of 12 months. The next slide shows the pictures of what it currently looks like and what is the anticipated future state would look like.
Very futuristic.
That's the intent.
Thank you, Hiba. So quickly going over the procurement, in December, we did walkthroughs. There was a total of 9 contractors that attended. All 9 contractors submitted their bids in February, and on February 15th, we found construction to be the lowest responsible bidder. All the procurements were sourced via public bid through public bid. Holt was the lowest of 9 bidders. Contract amount $8,128,692. And as Hiba mentioned, construction is expected to start in summer for a period of 12 months, completing in summer of 2025. Holt Construction has a 38% WMBE utilization plan, and listed there, you'll see all the subcontractors and their corresponding percentage of work. Cardoza Plumbing being the highest percentage. Little history about Holt Construction. They have worked previously with DASNY on some non-healthcare projects, but they have done gut renovations, major build-outs of full floors, mechanical equipment, electrical, etc. So they have the experience of doing significant amount of work. In addition to that, they do have healthcare experience as well. They've worked previously at Atlantic Health Systems. They had a $13.5 million contract there, doing an ambulatory care center and medical office building, doing a demo and construction. In addition to that, they have experience at Good Samaritan Hospital for a $5.9 million contract, doing a demo and installation of a CAT scan and MRI suites, and they have experience at NYU Langone Medical Center for a $3.6 million contract, doing the urology ICU, installing new head walls and LED surgical lighting. Their references have come back at excellent, so they're a good firm to be able to do some work with. I'm missing this slide. So there is the budget breakdown there for Holt Construction for $8.1 million. We have a project contingency of 15%. Because this is an older building, we are anticipating asbestos, lead, and a lot of field conditions, so we want to plan in advance, and that's the total amount of not to exceed at this time of $9.3 million. And we will take questions.
Any questions from committee members?
Sounds like it's much needed.
Yes.
I think any OR that's older than I am definitely needs a renovation.
So no questions. Let's take it for a vote. All in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, say no. So resolution approved. Thank you so much. Next one.
Our next resolution is authorizing New York City Health and Hospitals Corporation to execute a contract with Crescent Contracting Corp. to undertake a project to install sprinklers and fire alarms in the Administrative Building Number 4 at New York City Health and Hospitals Jacobi Medical Center for a contract amount of $8,251,375 with a 15% contingency of $1,237,706 to bring the total cost to not exceed $9,489,081. Again, I'll hand it over to Oscar, who will walk us through the presentation.
Thank you, Manny. Good morning again. So at Jacobi Medical Center, Building 4 this time, is a 14-story building built in 1976 with an adjacent one-story rotunda auditorium building. The 14-story building was a nurses' residence, and currently houses administrative offices, payroll, finance, education, nurses' education, simulation center, OHS, HR, and a few others. The building currently has partial coverage for sprinklers, and we need full coverage. And my director, Hiba Hadid, will run through the scope of work.
Thank you, Oscar. The scope of the project is the installation of sprinklers throughout the main building and the rotunda as well, and adding fire alarm devices based on the current layout and occupancy of the space. The scope of work includes new sprinklers throughout, new fire alarm devices, new fire pump room, new water services to support the new pump room, electrical connections to support the new system. The construction is anticipated to start summer of 2024 and with a completion of summer 2025 for a duration of 12 months.
And we'll make that correction officially. We're a little optimistic. It's already March. If we're going to make spring. So quickly going over the procurement, this went very fast. In February 1st, we had the walkthroughs. Six vendors attended. On February 15th, only one vendor submitted their proposal. The other vendors decided not to submit a proposal. So we only have one bidder who we found to be the lowest responsible bidder on February 21st, which was Crescent Contracting. All the procurement was sourced via public bid, as we typically do. Crescent was the only bidder, as mentioned. Contract amount was $8.2 million. Crescent Contracting is a GC and is a current vendor under our JOCS program. They have MOX evaluations, one for excellent, one for good, and 5 satisfactories. As he mentioned, the construction is expected to begin summer 2024 for a duration of 1 year, completing in summer 2025. Crescent has a 30% WMBE utilization plan, and listed there is the subcontractor that's going to do the work. Next slide shows the performance evaluation questionnaire, and it all came back as good. Next slide shows the project budget, construction amount for $8.2 million, project contingency 15%, as previously mentioned. This is an old building, and
Nowhere.
we're anticipating a lot of field conditions, asbestos, lead, and a few other unknowns. So that totals about $1.2 million to bring the total not to exceed amount to $9.5 million. And we will. Questions?
Did any of the no bid responses indicate like a rationale as to why they didn't bid? Or?
Good one, Ann. So,
Yeah.
we did extend the bid. They felt they weren't going to have their proposals ready in time, waiting on their sub pricing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Minji.
Do we have any requirements for the number of bids? I guess not. Right.
As long as we post and we give everybody an opportunity to submit, that's really the only requirement.
Okay, so let me then take it for a vote. All in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, say no. Resolution approved. Let's move to the next one.
Okay, continuing on fire life safety trends, authorizing the New York City Health and Hospital Corporation to execute a contract with ARC Systems Electrical Corp. to undertake a fire alarm upgrade of building number 1 New York City Health and Hospitals Jacoby Medical Center for a contract amount of $10,800,000 with a 15% contingency of $1,620,000 to bring the total cost to $12,420,000.
Thank you, Manny. So a quick background, Jacoby Building 1, again, existing fire alarm system upgrade. The current system is nearing the end of its service life. We need a complete replacement throughout the entire building itself. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Hiba to run over the scope and schedule of the project.
Okay, thank you, Oscar. The scope of the project is a complete replacement of the existing system throughout the entirety of Building 1. The new fire alarm system will be in compliance with the current FDNY and DOB codes and regulations. The renovations will include new fire command center panel, new fire alarm devices throughout. We're doing a smoke purge upgrades and new stair pressurization system. New emergency electrical connections to support the new system. Construction is anticipated to start again summer of 2024 with a completion of winter 2025 for a total duration of 18 months.
And we'll again officially make that correction. Quick overview on the procurement. December 7th, we had a walkthrough. 8 vendors attended. January 23rd, 3 bids were received out of those 8, and in February 15th, Arc Systems was determined to be the lowest responsible bidder. Everything was posted and sourced via public bid on city record. Arc was the lowest of 3 bidders. Arc themselves are a MWBE corporation, so they will be self-performing all the electrical services on the contract, which is for $10,800,000. Arc has listed in Mox 1 excellent rating and 3 good ratings. They have previous experience with DASNY, specifically working on the Bellevue Men's Shelter. And other public agency work includes NICA, SCA, DDC, and DHS. And as Hiba mentioned, the construction schedule is expected to take 18 months, starting in summer of 2024, completing in winter of 2025. The budget, construction, $10,800,000, and again, older building, anticipated field conditions, asbestos, lead, a few others, total for 15%, $1.6 million, with a not to exceed of $12,420,000. And with that, we will take any questions.
Thank you. Any
This is a little bit more complex than the Building 4, is that right? It seems
It's a much larger building.
much larger.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it goes into it touches every single space throughout the building. As also, we're doing the smoke purge and the stair pressurization. That adds a cost also.
Got it. And I just saw there's a note here that it's the amended CP is pending approval. So is there any concern that wouldn't be?
No.
This is,
It's just a timing.
yeah,
Correct.
this is definitely capital eligible.
Thank you.
Any questions? Okay, all in favor, so let's take it to a vote. All in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, say no. Resolution approved. Thank you. Move to the next one.
Resolution authorizing New York City Health and Hospitals Corp. To execute a contract with Atlantic Specialty Incorporated to undertake a parking garage renovation project in the main building of New York City Health and Hospitals Lincoln Hospital for a contract amount of $4,708,790 with a 20% contingency of $941,758 to bring the total cost to not exceed $5,650,548. Oscar, again, will start us off with this presentation.
Thank you, Manny. And switching gears a little bit, with me today is CEO Christopher Roker for Lincoln Hospital, and my Director of Capital, Curtis Penn, as well as my Senior Director, Aaron Egan, overseeing the Bronx portfolio. So at Lincoln, with this parking garage, it's original to the building. It's been in service since 1976. It is interconnected with the main building, and it needs a lot of work. It needs a complete renovation to the entire parking garage. An update and refresh of the current garage has been in service for about 45 years. There are water infiltration issues throughout the structure in various locations. We need to stop the infiltration and remediate the damage. Remediation will include patching and repair of the concrete, rebar corrosion remediation, and installation of expansion joint replacements that will ensure the life of the structure. All of the work will be completed in multiple phases, while the parking garage will remain open to the staff and visitors of Lincoln. And in addition to that, we will develop a preventive maintenance program to optimize the useful life. The procurement consists of December 1st, posting on City Record, December 7th, and December 8th. We had a total of 20 contractors attend on the 2 separate days. On January 5th, out of those 20, 9 bids were received. And on January 7th, Atlantic Specialty was deemed the lowest responsible bidder. Everything was sourced via public bid. As mentioned, Atlantic was the lowest of 9 bidders, and they are also an MWBE. They have completed excavation work, concrete, carpentry, electrical work at the morgue at Bellevue, so they have experience with us. Atlantic also has 1 good rating in MOX from DDC. This contract amount would be for $4.7 million, and they're expected to begin in spring this year, possibly early summer, but it's expected to take 24 months, so it's going to be a 2-year project. Project budget, construction, $4.7 million. Contingency, we put it up even higher, about 20%, which is quite a bit higher than your industry standard. And that's going to be to a total of $941,000 to bring us to a total of $5.6 million, not to exceed. There is a lot of potential field conditions here. There's a lot of things that we cannot see behind the concrete, behind the rebar, and as we start taking things out and really exposing themselves to remediate, we're anticipating a lot of change orders, and that's why.
Is it underground or?
The garage? No, it's above ground. Yeah, it's above ground, but it's exposed to all of the elements, the salt, the snow, the rain, and it gets hit pretty hard. So we're anticipating a lot of work there.
Right. It's not a sexy project, but it's
Necessary.
it's necessary, right? It's
Have
really
you had flooding and stuff? Was that what?
So we had water infiltration with the expansion joints, which causes the corrosion of the concrete falling from the ceiling. We have to patch it, patchwork on the floors. So it's really needed. It has never been really dealt with for a long time. A long time.
Just think of your New York City roadways, right? There's potholes everywhere. I mean, you got to go in there almost every year to patch them up. This particular facility has not received any maintenance work for many, many years. Now, we brought in the engineers. Nothing's been considered imminent danger, so nobody's in any kind of unsafe condition. But the facility, the garage itself, needs a lot of work.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to still use it while you're constructing.
Yes.
So that's
Correct. That's why it's going to take 24 months to do.
right. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is a busy garage. Let me tell you.
At
Very busy.
capacity, pretty much. Or?
It is every day.
So you will. I mean, how much capacity are you going to lose as you construct?
I believe it is, 15 slots a day, 15 slots.
At a time.
At a time.
Each
yeah.
phase.
Each phase. So we have a contingency plan on how to go about it, so.
Great.
No questions.
Questions?
I just wanted to say, since Fenny isn't here, to admire the work of this division, that we're looking at 4 bids, and the MWBE is 30, 38, 100, 100. Right, city goal is 30.
Excellent. Yeah. Thank you for pointing that out.
Among many other wonderful things to be pointing out, the work necessary.
You
work.
pointed it out.
And and working on maintenance sounds like an important goal, given how much, as you described, how much is needed there. So, so on that note, let me take it for a vote. All in favor, please say yes.
Yes.
Opposed, say no. Resolution approved. So let's move to the last one.
Thank you.
Okay, our final resolution. Authorizing New York City Health and Hospitals Corp. to execute a contract with ARC Systems Electrical Corp. to undertake a generator upgrade at New York City Health and Hospitals Woodhall Medical Center for, sorry. Oh, sorry.
That is the last one, right? Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Last one in our packet. If you have like a secret other one.
No, I do not. Sorry. I do not.
Okay, very
Okay,
good.
sorry about that.
My apologies. I was on a roll, yeah.
Is there any old or business or new business to come before the committee?
No.
So hearing none, then the meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.